Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Stallings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderEX, and as always I'm your host for Operation Recap, where I take some of the stories from Rainfall.com and I throw them here at YouTube. I don't have anything with you because this is like my third time trying to record this video because of technical issues. I love it. I don't love it. Oh god, no. I'm one of those people who, when you have a technical issue and it's like, this should be working. It was working like 5 minutes ago. It's not working now. Why is that? I'm one of those people like, my solution is shotgun. So, or, giant sword. Alright, so this week's stories that I've already kind of talked about, and I hope I can remember the good jokes. First off, we have the Retron 5. If you have not heard about this device, it's really nifty. It is a console that lets you play NES, SNES, Super Famicom, Genesis and Mega Drive, and Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and original Game Boy games. All of those different, yet kind of the same systems, like the case of the Super Famicom and SNES and Genesis and Mega Drive. But it has 5 slots for those, unique console types, and that you can play all of those original cartridges on this new piece of hardware. Really interesting little thing. See, what it does is the console itself takes the data from the cartridge and puts it onto one of its own emulators and plays it that way. But you still need the cart. So it's one of those, it's like playing emulation, but legally. And there's not really a gray area on this one because you have to have the original game, which is kind of the gray area for emulation. The emulators themselves are not really a problem. It's the ROMs, because those are typically just freely distributed, which is the illegal part of it. But reverse engineering the console to run as a piece of software, that's actually perfectly legal. BSNES is a huge example of it. Someone who took the time to make a 100% cycle accurate emulator of the SNES. That was a labor of love, I should say. That is a very complicated means of wanting to make an accurate emulator. So, but this console, that's not the story. That's just a little background on the story, giving you an idea of how the console works. The new story on this one is it will now allow you to play fan translations on this console, which is mind-blowing. Because there are a lot of games that did not get an official release, and therefore just kind of being lost. But dedicated fans and gamers have sat there and painstakingly translated the game into English, and added that translation to the game via patching. Well, before, all you could do to play these were through, emulators, and then it's kind of it's that gray area of you don't actually own the game, and you're not actually playing the physical copy that you may own, but now you can. You can pop that physical copy that you own into the Retron, you can add the translation patch, and it will apply it to that cartridge. It won't actually it won't change anything on the cartridge itself, just the data from the cartridge as it's being pulled off of the cartridge. That's impressive, that you can play a lot of games that you may not have been able to play before. You just have to track down a physical copy, and then just download the translation patch. So if you wanted to play like Seiken Densetsu 3, or Bahamut Lagoon, or, any number of things. Pulse Man on the Genesis is a game that I've been very interested in for a very long time. And this is one of those things that just kind of impresses me about this little piece of hardware. So if you haven't heard about the Retron 5, go check that out. Or if you are a fan of fan translation projects for, the old cartridge era, now's your chance that you might be able to get involved in that. So go check out that story. Tell us what you think. I'm very interested in it. It's nifty, to say the least. The second story of this recap comes from my good old buddies over at Sega. Me and Sega, we're like this. We're tight. We're good friends. So Sega issued a tweet stating, and I quote, "Phantasy Star Online 2 is still delayed. Sega is still working on bringing Phantasy Star Online 2 to the West, and will update as soon as we know more." Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because it has been delayed for about 2 years now. We are treating this as though it is the next Duke Nukem forever type thing. It's like, we're just going to keep talking about it until either you stop caring about it and we can forget about it, or we're forced to do something with it. And yeah, that's what's going on. It's been about a year since they have issued any sort of statement on Phantasy Star Online 2, and I'm pretty sure that last statement was, it's still delayed, we're still working on it, it'll come out when it gets here. Pretty much the same canned response we got just now. So yeah, I really, the boat sailed on this one for me. Like, ship sailed, it's gone. I've since stopped caring. If Sega brings it over, good on them. But at this point, I really think they've just kind of shot themselves in the foot by waiting as long as they have, for whatever reason. I mean, if you have a legitimate reason for delaying it this long, say so. Say, we're having problems setting up, a network. We have this company providing it in Japan and, Asia, but we don't have a suitable network in North America. We're trying to figure out, can we build our own? Can we, have someone else, just, can we jump on one of theirs? What have you? However they want to set up the servers for the game. Tell us, is that the problem? Or is there another problem? Is there a licensing issue? Give us some idea of what's causing the delay, and we'd be a little more sympathetic toward it. I mean, crap happens when you're building a game. Like, the game's done, though, so that's the thing. The game's been out for a while. There is an unofficial translation patch to play it, and from what I can tell, it sounds like there's going to be some English for other Asian market releases. So what's the deal? Give us something, and maybe we might care a little bit more. Otherwise, it's canned responses and company speak just don't really do much to win over fans. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And the last story for this week is kind of a... so last weekend was PAX Prime. I did put a little blurb about it in the video description of last week's video, but I was supposed to talk about it because one of our own, the intrepid Josh Spear, went to PAX Prime as the only Rainfall representative, and he basically just nailed it. He knocked it out of the park. He had interviews, he had hands-on with a ton of people, he was all over the place, and I was supposed to plug it before on last week's recap video, and I completely forgot as I was recording. But now that it's all said and done, and he's still putting out articles, all of the PAX Prime stuff that we've got up, that's what I want you to go check out. I'm going to try to include as many links in the video description as possible. But yeah, PAX Prime was last weekend. We had someone there. He did just about everything imaginable. So go check out all of those. Those are all pretty much him. So our editors were able to help out, put his discombobulated thoughts into words, because by the end of it, anyone who goes to a convention for 3 days, especially if you're working a convention, you get a little done by the end of it. So go check that out, PAX Prime articles. I'm very envious that Josh got to go. So maybe one year I will one-up everyone and go to the Tokyo Game Show. Let's see. Maybe. I don't speak a lick of Japanese, but it'd be fun. And it's, something I could say I did. So, yeah, I'm going to go, and so you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Check out Rainfall for more stories, and, just generally leave your thoughts and opinions in the video comment section here on YouTube. Talk. Let's have fun. I'll see you guys next week. Later.